Imperfect Birds is the third book in a trilogy about these characters, Rosie and Elizabeth Ferguson. Rosie's the child we first meet in the novel Rosie, who's 6 or 7 years old and whose father has just died. Elizabeth is her mother, who's very tall and depressed and has a little bit of money from the husband's death and has no idea who she is in the world, except she's very fond of Rosie. And in the second book of the trilogy, Crooked Little Hearts, Rosie is, I think, it's been a while, almost 14, and a champion tennis player and starting to get very into the world of boys, and that she really isn't an attractive, she doesn't feel like an attractive girl. She's tiny and not developed. Her best friend is just this cheesecake of vanilla beauty, Simone, and ends up pregnant by the end of the book. But in Imperfect Birds, I wanted to see where everybody was a few years later. I wanted to see if Elizabeth had been able to stay sober. I wanted to see what Elizabeth's marriage to the wonderful novelist James was like. And I wanted to see Rosie really spreading her wings and going down some really dark paths. There's a very bad drug habit, a drug problem in the county where I live, and in fact all of California, and in fact probably all the United States, among teenagers who discover things like ecstasy and then prescription drugs. And they're just stealing, and a lot of the kids are being prescribed Adderall for ADD and ADHD, and of course they love it because it's very nice, mellow speed, and it helps them with their college exams. And we've had a huge problem with OxyContin in our area, and a number of deaths of my son's peers. And so I want to write about it. I want to say, what's going on here? Well, it's a very complex issue, and it has many causes and roots and ways to approach it from, so you really couldn't do it any kind of justice in 1,500 words or something. There are a number of characters who are different manifestations of the answer to who gets into drugs. Is it the kids that you would think of as players? Well, Rosie's a 4.2 student headed to a very, very good college. She's beautiful. She's a great tennis player. She's just a wonderful person, and yet she's got the genetic predisposition because Elizabeth and her father are both alcoholic. There's just no level at which you can achieve that you're going to feel good enough about yourself to not wonder if you might feel a little bit better with Adderall or ecstasy, or if you might be more attractive to boys if you're willing to do this or that with them, or this to them or for them. And then her other friends are very different than that. One friend has been off to rehab already, and one friend comes from a very nutty sort of space case mother who I don't think has any problem with substance abuse. So it's an epidemic in this nation, and it's killing our kids. 2 weeks before I came here, a girl, I went for a hike before church, and when I got to the ocean, there were 150 people searching for her body, and she'd been partying with her girlfriends by the ocean and had wandered off and wasn't found till the next day when she washed up at Muir Woods. So it's a national epidemic. It's had huge impact on my own family. I mean, my son's friends, some have died. One of them is at Napa State, probably either for a very long time or forever, and he was the golden child, the golden boy of the high school. And I wanted to go really in depth into it. I wanted to view it from the mother's point of view. I want to view it from the point of view of the community and how scary it is to do anything with teenagers that might mean they stop loving you or thinking you're the cool parent. And I wanted to write it from inside the child, the young adult who's making it all seem like it's the parent's problem or fault.